What's up, guys? Welcome to a special episode of The Arena. We're recording on a Wednesday afternoon to talk about everything that is happening with Iran and Israel and the U.S. involvement in it. How are you guys doing?
Chilling, yeah, doing okay. Can't complain. Well, we can't complain. That's why we're here. But
Yeah,
what can you
yeah,
do?
It's our
exactly.
job.
It's our job. But yeah, if we want some background, Donald Trump, like an hour ago, said that I may do it, I may not, in reference to the U.S. joining Israel and attacking Iran. Also said that he wants unconditional surrender and that he's had it with Iran. Um, he also said that the Iranians are basically begging to go to the White House to talk to him, and the Iranians very quickly said, "Nope, we're not." Um, they may have a call with the JD Vance. I don't know, maybe show him like some special Persian couch or something. Um, but yeah, that's where we are right now. What are your guys' like initial thoughts on all of this? It's been going on for about a week. It literally started when we were recording our last episode.
Conrad, you want to go first?
I was gonna say, I think Donald Trump is a weak leader. There was always a tweet for this, right? About, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, he had a tweet that Obama was weak, therefore the the diplomacy will fail and they're going to have to invade Iran. There is always a tweet for any of his actions. I think Benjamin Netanyahu, is like strong arming him and forcing him into actions he does not want to take. And Benjamin Netanyahu is determining the course of this, not so much Trump. I will say Israel's military attack on Iran, impressive, but a lot of that was aided by, I believe, the Iranian military not adhering to certain security protocols. I think they got a little lax in terms of their top commanders meeting in the same physical location. It's almost like this was kind of a decapitation strike, it seems like, on a lot of the military's capabilities. A lot of things are coming out, so I do apologize if I didn't say anything right or it's not factually correct. It's an evolving situation, but it does seem like Benjamin Netanyahu is kind of like determining the course. Trump's hopping on board, and Iran's being backed into a corner, which leaves only one. They're going to fight. They're going to fight to protect their sovereignty.
Exactly. Listen, at this point, it seems like Israel is truly the aggressor in this whole situation, which is unfortunate. And but right now they're just making a lie and saying, "Hey, Iran has nukes," and it's like, well, no, they don't. This is the same thing they're saying about Iraq. I mean, they're rolling out the same exact playbook they did 20 years ago, which is really ridiculous at this point. Um, but me and Noah have been having a lot of discussions about this whole week. I genuinely think nothing much is going to come of it. If I'm being honest, I don't think the U.S. is going to get involved. I think Trump is a weak leader in all this, but he's a savvy politician and he knows if we were to get involved, he loses. He's already looking at the midterms 2 years from now, right? Next year, he wants to redistrict Texas to secure more seats. If we go to war with Iran, that is going to Republicans lose the House. They don't lose the Senate, but they keep it close in the Senate. I I think what's going to happen is I think Israel and Iran are going to keep shooting missiles at each other. I think the media's not going to cover it within a week or two, and then yeah, I don't think we get involved. I think we're going to say we're involved, but we're not going to do shit.
So I agree with you guys. Donald Trump is an extremely weak leader, and I think that is why we see Russia and Iran both Russia and Ukraine ratcheting up their fights with each other. As soon as Donald Trump took over, we see Iran and Israel. Mostly Israel. Oliver, you're right. Israel is most definitely the aggressor here. Iran was literally in the sixth round of negotiations with the U.S. over a nuclear weapons deal treaty that once again I would like to point out Donald Trump came in and ripped up the nuclear weapons treaty that we had with Iran just because it had Barack Obama's name on it and is now trying to get the same exact deal signed. The Daily Show put out this wonderful clip of Benjamin Netanyahu has literally been saying that Iran's about to get a nuke since the 90s, since before I was born. Iran is nowhere close to getting a nuke. They do not have the technology or military capability, as we've seen in the last week.
They can build a nuke if they wanted
They
to.
could. I
They
mean,
can
anybody
100% build a nuke
if they
to.
wanted
They have
to.
the technology. They have the ability. I think
But a
we're
lot of it is
underestimating
also
Iran.
blown up now.
Bro,
Their people are
come
also
on.
blown up now.
You're underestimating the
Everybody
Iranians.
can, but also, I forget who said this, but given what's happened to other countries in the region where we have like meddled in and gotten involved, why would Iran not want nukes to protect itself?
Dude, with Ukraine,
Well, yeah.
we have
Yep.
incentivized nuclear armament because we will not hold up our end of the agreement.
Yep.
At
'Cause-
any point, things may change.
Because Iran is a smart nation. They know if they get a nuke, they're going to be treated like North Korea, right?
Yep.
They don't want to be in that position. They don't want to be a pariah. They do want to get involved with the world. It's just certain countries don't want them to get involved with the world. Those countries being Saudi Arabia, Israel, and America, and the United Kingdom. Iran wants to open up. Look at the Iran nuclear deal. Back when Obama signed it, they obeyed the letter to the law to the letter. I mean, they were importing cars. They were exporting a ton of cars. In Turkey, there was a lot of Iranian cars. A lot of Turks bought them because they were so fucking cheap, right? Iran wants to follow the rules. They want to be a part of this global economy. We're just not letting them be a part of the global economy. And if they were to get a nuke, well, then they wouldn't be a part of the global economy. They would be exiled even more so.
I completely agree with you, but I think it's more so the scary part about this. I think you're right. I don't think we're going to get World War III. The scary part about this is just how weak and indecisive U.S. leadership is currently. Because, even if Donald Trump is going to be a weak leader at home, that's fine. Being a weak leader abroad as the president of the United States of America is probably the most catastrophic thing that could happen. Because if they didn't know already, the entire fucking world knows now that there's a weak, fickle old man eating a McDonald's hamburger and drinking a Diet Coke in the Oval Office between rounds of golf, and that's about it, and they can get away with anything they want. And I think every single one of our enemies knows that now. Which fucking sucks. And is fucking terrifying. Like, I hate Donald Trump, I hate Republicans right now, but guess what? I still care about this country. Nothing bad should happen to this country, and the way that they are going about doing their business right now is incentivizing something really fucking bad to happen to this country.
We are creating enemies in the future.
Yeah.
We are creating extremists that will attack us and harm our sons and daughters. That's
Yep.
what's going on right now.
This
And-
is the same shit that happened with the Bushes and which led to the creation of the Taliban.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, this Trump administration's refusing to acknowledge history. You put the same people in charge too. I mean, shit, you're expecting different results. You're fucking insane. But who knows? Again, I don't think anything will come of this personally, but I see your guys' points.
So,
I think the most extreme we get is we get a bunker busting bomb. I think that's been kind of what everybody's been fighting about. Like those B-2s dropping like a 30,000 pound ordnance that has the capability of going underground that Israel does not have, and kind of eliminating their nuclear program. Or at least, isn't there a base that's underground or something like that?
like some of the centrifuges and things of that nature.
Half of Iran's military capability is underground. Like more than half. It would take more than one bomb. The other thing with Iran too is Iran is one of those nations where, you know how like in America we are basically impossible to invade. Iran is basically like that too. The United States has run simulations, the war games of if we were to face Iran, dude, we got our ass handed to us. I mean, they put an American general in charge and we lost. That being said, it would be a Vietnam-esque situation or an Afghanistan-esque situation. Iran would be the biggest nation we have ever faced. That would be the thing. Since, for God's sakes, probably World War II, maybe Korea. I don't know. It's crazy to think.
Dude, there's no way. If there's boots on the ground in Iran, he's done. He's done.
Easily.
Yeah, and he knows that. He knows that.
So, I don't think we ever get there unless something
Mhm.
like horrific happens. Once again, though, Benjamin Netanyahu knows what Donald Trump is, and he knows how to play that man like a fucking fiddle, and that's what's happening right now. Which, who could have foreseen that when Netanyahu was literally going to Mar-a-Lago before Trump was even president? But we tried to tell him.
Let me
I
hold on.
I thi-
Let me push on you a little bit on this. Can you give me an example of Netanyahu pushing Trump to do whatever he wants outside of this Iran situation?
I think the everything since the beginning, he's been like one of the biggest state visits every single time. All
I
of
mean,
that.
that's
I
every American president though.
not the reception that he got from like Trump and the right last year versus what he got from the left was very telling. Like Kamala not going or Kamala not being at Senate to see him and just like doing like a private closed door thing. Um, I think there's some very telling things in the differences of how presidents have handled him. I once again we know that
Well,
APAC is deeply
I
powerful
would
on the
like to
left.
say,
A
I
lot
would.
of this
By the
was
way, APAC just released an email to congressional Democrats saying that if you don't back Israel, then we're going to fund primary challenges
of
against
course.
you. But I would like to say that is, I think, a specific Netanyahu situation and not a Trump. I think Trump is definitely in the pocket. I think Trump is in the pocket of his billionaires. I don't think he's in the pocket of Netanyahu specifically. I don't actually think Trump really likes Netanyahu all that much, if I'm being completely honest.
Well, he's a deeply
I think he's in the
unlikable
pocket
person.
of Marian Adelson. I think that's
Well,
why
yeah.
he's so. That's why
Yes.
he's so pro-Israel.
She was his biggest
we're
donor.
also forgetting the fact that I don't know why I'm pushing back, but we're just playing the game, right?
Yeah.
I think Joe Biden was bitch made by Netanyahu. Are we?
I
I
don't
think that's a
think
fact that he was bitch made.
This is a greiter conversation that we need to have, I think, as a people.
Yes.
For example, like we have two governments right now who aren't great involved in this: Israel and Iran.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, both of them have their egregious sins against either their own population or other populations in their vicinity. Okay, I think Israel, growing up in a conservative household as a white Catholic American, Israel is synonymous with the Jewish people. And like the state of Israel is not the same as the Jewish people. We can criticize the state of Israel, and I think that's what, as a society, we need to become more comfortable with.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think there's that nuance everywhere in our society, and that's
No,
going to
no.
harm us. I also think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Noah.
no. Finish your thought.
I was also going to say too, with like Iran, they are also not all of a sudden this good guy because they're getting bombed by this other aggressive country, Israel. They still have egregious human rights violations. They're still not a good government. They still oppress their people. So there's a lot of nuance in these conversations, and I just feel like we need as an American culture to be able to talk about this in this way.
I wish we could. I do not think we have that capability currently.
Not yet. I think
I hope with like upcoming generations, they will be able to learn about how this country went to hell in class, and they will learn how to critically think again. The mass population in this country does not know how to critically think, and that's not just the right. A lot of the fuckers on the left don't know how to critically think.
no, I agree with that. Yeah, no.
But
But
because like they have reframed this. APAC is so powerful, and you know what? Biden probably did get bitched out a little
he
bit by
did.
Netanyahu.
He 100% did. He did.
At the same time, us and the Egyptians told him that October 7th would happen a day in advance, and he did nothing about it. He let it happen to his own people for political gain. They were protesting against him in the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem the day before the attack happened. They were going to get rid of him. And then the attack happens, and miraculously, he's still in power almost 2 years later.
I think that going back to Conrad's point, what's something the neoliberals, just neoliberal of both parties, have done phenomenally in APAC is you cannot be it's the anti-Semitism, if that makes sense. if you are anti-Israel, well, congratulations, you're anti-Semitic now, right? And obviously, this is a very hard conversation to have as someone who is not Jewish, but you can't even criticize Israel without being labeled as an anti-Semite. I believe Israel should exist, but I believe Palestine should exist. That sentence alone, AIPAC pours millions of dollars into my primary opponent. I can't make that statement as a politician. It's one of the best pieces of, I'm not going to say propaganda, but one of the best pieces of just pure political spending ever was these people spending so much money on you can't be anti-Zionist anymore. It's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. I mean, they called Bernie Sanders anti-Semitic. My God, the probably most famous Jewish American politician of all time. It's ridiculous.
I think it's also very telling, right? Just talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, not even like, not the people of Israel, not the Jewish religion, none of that. Just Benjamin Netanyahu as a leader. Because sometimes a country just gets stuck with a really shitty leader, as we know. Israel alongside the U.S., those two countries were the only ones that voted against the UN resolution in 2021 that food is a basic human right. It was those two countries. Now America is just a purely evil country. Love it to death. Pretty evil fucking country in the grand scheme of things in history. Okay? Israel, what is your problem?
Well,
Netanyahu.
I think every country's evil.
Well, yes,
Right.
but like at least
There's
all
no
but two of
objectively
them-
good countries.
At least all but two of them think that food is a basic human right and are willing to stand by that. All but two of them.
Listen, I'm sorry, but that's objectively
It's-
funny as fuck.
It's hilarious.
That's
'cause
fucking
It is
hilarious.
so fucking fitting.
That's so
but, like,
evil.
goddamn. Because that's my mom kind of know. That was 2021. That was when Biden was in
That's
charge, and we
Biden.
said
Yeah,
no.
no, Joe Biden, he's the most pro-Zionist Democratic president of all time. It's not even fucking close. But outside of Donald Trump, he's probably the most pro-Zionist president ever. I mean, that's a thing that, and I love talking to my friends about this. Joe Biden, I love talking to my brother specifically about this. Joe Biden was the worst possible person to be president for the October 7th attacks. That man is pro-Israel to his fucking core. He has always been a pro-Israeli, pro-Zionist person. So him being president during this time, not good. That's why I said earlier that he got bitched out by Netanyahu. Well, it's because he got bitched out by Netanyahu because he never told Netanyahu to stop bombing Palestine. There were no communications of him saying, Bibi, stop bombing Palestine. Nothing. Because he agrees with what Israel's doing. That's the thing. I don't remember my point to begin with, but yeah.
Also, really quick, can you just talk about how unserious the world is? Because Iran is just tweeting like a defensive back right now.
Dude,
Iran
how
is currently on like a prime Richard Sherman 2015 trash talking run, which is hilarious. And Conrad, I don't know if you saw it or not. I'm gonna let you go in 1 second, but like people in Lebanon and nightclubs like partying with missiles falling in the background.
That was funny.
I mean, hilarious, base as fuck, but like, what an unserious time to be alive.
Dude,
So
it's just
fucking
nuts. It's just nuts. Over the course of a few days, I just got done listening to like a New York Times pod on this whole situation. And it's just wild how everything moves with tweets or with truths or whatever the fuck they are. Like, it's just absurd how this is all developing, and like this is our diplomacy. Our diplomacy is essentially glorified internet trolling. And it's a national embarrassment.
We do a little trolling.
And it's just one of those things that, hey, I don't know, do this behind closed doors, figure it out, but like don't have this out in public where you're insulting an entire country and their population. Like, just how can you make friends of that? Are you going to make friends at a bar? Like, put it on the micro scale. Are you going to make friends at a bar if, like, some dickhead's just, like, yapping at you from across the way? No, man. Like, I don't get it. This is ridiculous.
He cannot. The only reason we haven't made an official statement regarding whether we will or will not enter this conflict is because he cannot make a decision. And the one thing that I will say that might get us closer to entering than not entering.
Hold on.
Really quick.
Okay.
Um, the Steve Bannons of the world, who like 2 days ago were like very against this, are already beginning to soften their tone with like whatever they're yapping about today. Like they're already, I guess the little bees that control them are already sending the message in to like tone it the fuck down if you want to stay successful or whatever the hell they do. Because they're all Steve Bannon's already starting to tone it down. Charlie Kirk said like I'd be against it, but like I trust Donald Trump. Um, to make the decision. They're already getting softer on their anti-war tone, which I think is a sign that MAGA is trying to get together again and have a united front with. And I think that leads me to believe that he's probably leaning more towards striking than not striking.
So okay. Here's the thing, and obviously I could be 100% wrong. I think Donald Trump, again, Donald Trump is a savvy politician, right? I think his advisors are pushing him to do something, and I think Donald Trump, being the person that he is, he listens to the last person who spoke to him, right? And I think if Donald Trump was smart, I think Donald Trump, in his heart of heart, knows that this is a bad idea to go to war with Israel, to go to war for Israel against Iran. That's why I don't think it's going to happen. I think he can't back down. That's the problem right now.
So
He's going to back down, though. It's going to simmer down, 24-hour news cycle, and then I think things are just going to calm down.
the other thing, sorry, Conrad, I'll let you go in 1 second.
We keep
The
interrupting
other
you. I'm
thing
sorry.
is that right now the Iran-Israel thing dominating the news cycle is extremely good for Donald Trump. Because every other news cycle about the American government and him is negative for him and is making him drop in the
They need
polls.
to pass a budget.
So while he is a savvy politician, I can also see him keeping
This
this
is a
shit
savvy
going.
move.
This is savvy. I think it's very similar to what Narendra Modi went through last month, where I don't think he really wanted to do that. He just kind of was forced into doing it by the vast majority of the public in India and like the news warmongers, because like Indian news do be warmongering against Pakistan. And I think here, obviously, it's not the vast majority of the American public, but it's more so his advisors, because like Lindsey Graham is probably one of his closest people in the Senate. I don't know, bro. Like some of these massive war hawks are also people with very close ties to Donald Trump. Mike Huckabee is probably sitting there in Israel telling him to blow Iran off the face of the planet. Um, I just, I think you're right. It comes down to the last person that talks to him. I just don't know who it's gonna be because I feel like a lot of people that have his ear are very warmongering people, especially in this scenario.
So, how do we think this ends up? I think this ends up with a few bombs being dropped, and then them centering around a message of peace through strength. They're essentially going to cripple their nuclear program. They're going to force them back to the table. They're going to claim victory from the jaws of defeat and saying peace through strength. The international community will be like, yo, what the fuck? Reducing our standing further on the global stage, but I think that's how they're going to claim victory.
I think that July 4th is coming up. That was Donald Trump's deadline to pass his budget. I think he needs something to distract people, the American people, and I think that this is a perfect example. And I don't think much is going to happen. I don't think America's going to get involved. There will 100% no boots on ground. Even worst case scenario, I don't think there's boots on ground. I think it's just going to fizzle out in a week. I'm going to be honest. I think that this is what always happens. Look at India, Pakistan. Look at all this stuff. It's going to fizzle out. Things are going to calm down. Donald Trump's going to pass his budget. There's going to pass some crazy shit. The Supreme Court term, by the way, is also ending. I mean, there's the case that minors now cannot get gender affirming care in general. So, a good way to distract from the American people and liberals. I think what Donald Trump is doing is what he's always done. He's throwing shit at the wall to distract from the actual shit he's going to pass. And I don't think anything's going to happen out of this.
I agree. I think at most if something does happen, we drop a few of those bunker bombs on Iran, but I think Oliver kind of hit the nail on the head. This is all just a major distraction from the actual bullshit that's happening in this country, and I think that's the other thing. A lot of people have kept the main thing the main thing. A lot of a lot of people are still hammering on that and not getting distracted by the Iran thing. So like even his throw shit at the wall tactics aren't as effective as they once used to be because people are just catching on. Because like how many times are you gonna fool someone with the same thing unless they're a Republican with no college education? Um, but I don't know, man. I think that's as big as U.S. involvement gets. Um, I think India and Pakistan is one thing because like they perennially do this with each other. Like I think they just get bored and do this shit like every 5 6 years. Um, but like Russia Ukraine still hasn't ended, and I think that the other bad thing is that we're trivializing conflict and like just bombing each other and killing people, and I think it's getting so trivialized with like you guys said, the countries and leaders themselves not being able to be adults about it and trivializing it themselves, but also just like we're on this Twitter joke age, like TikTok memes, all of this shit. Like we're trivializing people dying and like countries bombing each other, and I don't think that we should do that. I think like this has gone on for a week. Like imagine like living in Tehran or Tel Aviv or Jerusalem and just like hearing bombs every fucking day for a week straight. Like that's ridiculous that we're still doing this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of with like that dude playing the saxophone. I think it was in Lebanon. I was just like, yo, this is so wild that there are ballistic missiles in the background falling. And it's just absolutely horrific. Because at the end of the day, you have civilian populations that in a roundabout way they're responsible for their leaders, but they're not. We just want to like live our day to day and be left the fuck alone.
Yep.
That's it. And this is going to, who does this impact? This impacts the civilians. This impacts people like us who are just trying to exist, that are located in a different geographical region of the world.
Yep.
And it just sucks, dude. It just sucks that all of these things seem to be coming to a head, and I don't understand how people don't realize the correlation is DT.
Yeah.
Like, things just get worse. He can't handle crisis. He makes things worse. He throws gas on the fire. It just sucks, man. I don't know. It just
It's
sucks.
sad. It's very sad.
There's
honestly.
not one domestic crisis, international crisis, like something happening in Congress, something happening on the Supreme Court. There's not one thing that he has dealt with well. I don't think. Like he's gotten one bill passed in his entire time as president. He's gotten one bill passed.
Yeah, dude, and
And
that's
that
the
bill
thing.
negatively impacts the vast majority of this
Yep.
country.
We have zero plans for the future. What the fuck are we building? What are we doing? Nothing. We're doing nothing. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. My young adulthood, my professional career has been defined by DT's presidency. And like every single millennial who's about as old as me, think about after you graduated college and like how things have been steadily getting worse. And like this political era has been defined by DT, and it's just, we are getting left behind.
Yes.
We are getting left behind. We are getting screwed. We're not even going to be as well off as our parents. We're going to be, if we continue on this trajectory, worse off. We're going to have to play a lot of catch up, and it just sucks, man. Like it
Like,
frankly pisses me off.
yeah,
Me too.
it's fucking despicable. Like the kids that are graduating college this year, they're not going to get a job, and you've kind of just fucking normalized that. And if you don't get a
And
job,
and we're going to blame these kids
yeah,
for going to get like a quote unquote bullshit degree, and it's just like, hey man, it's not the 18-year-old's fault, okay? It's not the 18-year-old's fault. They're operating within a system that they inherited. Like, step up and let's do something different and stop blaming children for decisions. Like, frankly, I don't think at 18 years old, like I couldn't comprehend like the amount of debt you had to inherit, the interest, anything like that. Why are we blaming the kids when the adults in the room are the ones who are failing us?
Dude,
like
exactly.
you get told your entire life that you got to go to college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college. If you don't go to college, most of society sees you as a failure, which in itself is fucked up. But even if
Yep.
you do go to college and then you can't get a job because everybody ahead of you has ruined things and fucked things up so fucking badly, you're still seen as a failure. It's like, what the fuck do you want the 18 to 24-year-olds to do?
Dude, exactly. No, I mean, we're just built to fail. Nothing too crazy.
Right?
Sorry, I've been
Like,
texting
what?
my sister.
You're chilling. Like what Conrad said last week, where we all, like, you talked about this at Death Hunter. It was awesome. But, like, we always get questioned for our work ethic. We always get questioned for our toughness, for everything else. We have objectively dealt more, like, the three of us. Me and Oliver are 23. Conrad, you're 32, right?
I am 33. Just the 32. Who cares? 32,
Yeah,
33.
32,
Hey.
man.
Yeah,
32.
I'll take that.
We have objectively dealt with some of the worst times in America in the last century. In terms
Yep.
of economic achievement. Now, obviously, the majority of this of people could not hold jobs and just live basic human life as normal people for the vast majority of the last century. That has to be taken into account. But just in general, from a pure financial aspects, FDR onwards, everybody that was born was set up for a very good ride.
Yep.
And then Reagan came and did his bullshit, and then the kids that started getting born in the 90s are the ones that have had to deal with that. And now the people that are getting born now and are coming of age now have to deal with all of Donald Trump's bullshit of the last decade. And George Bush's bullshit.
Yeah, man. It's
And it'll
I-
always come back to this, but like, Democrats' inability to fucking message and call them out on this for the last 40 years is one of the biggest fucking reasons that we're in this place. Obviously, they're evil and have done evil shit, but we can't fucking tell them that and let people know that they're evil in an easy, concise way.
Shout out the Democratic Party. Dude, I just no, we're held to a higher standard than the Republicans, which is fucking ridiculous, and we hold ourselves for some reason to those higher standards. No, we need to just not give a shit, say whatever the fuck we want to say, and then if they yell at us, well, oh no, the media's yelling at us, right? No, it's fucking like I think a perfect example of this is the Al Franken situation. Why the fuck did he resign? He should have never resigned. If he was a Republican, he wouldn't have resigned. No, the Democratic Party loves getting in its own way, which is fucking hilarious to me because we are more interested in shooting ourselves in the foot. We're more interested in purity than anything else. You could have the perfect candidate. The American people get behind him. They love him. And guess what? Oh, but you know, he doesn't fit the right way to be a Democratic candidate. So we're going to shoot you in the head. Fuck you. You get Hillary Clinton.
tinfoil hat time. It's almost like the Dems are just there to be a feckless opposition
Yep.
to the Republicans. Sometimes it really does feel that way. I know there's like really good, promising people who are Democratic, I'll say leaders or candidates, but it just seems like we are trying to change. The issue is the system. The issue is the system. The issue is the money that gets involved in these elections. The issue is that our representatives don't represent us. They represent like their corporate backers, whomever like their super PACs are and all that bullshit. Dude, like I don't know, man. It's such an easy win right now. What people want, if the Democratic platform was, we are going to do term limits, we are going to at least start with our primaries. We're not going to accept corporate money, like a crazy amount of donors.
Exactly.
I think most people would be like, okay, I may not agree with everything, but now I know you're not like this amorphous, scary, I don't
For
know,
real.
corporate back Dem.
Do you know how you get APAC out of Democratic politics? Just don't ban corporate money out of primaries. APAC is gone. Congratulations. Ban corporate money from Democratic primaries. I guarantee you we're going to get a better candidates immediately. Just straight up. Immediately better candidates.
There's no way that the primaries in New Jersey should have cost like these candidates spent over $100 million
Yep.
in New Jersey for a primary that on either side no one came close to winning.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
fucking
blowouts.
ridiculous.
Yet we spent over $100 million fucking dollars.
It's insane, man.
That could
It's
have
insane.
built so much more housing in the state. That could have completely redone the NJ Transit. There you go, bought up trains again. The streak continues. Like, what are we doing? Why are we spending that much money? No wonder
makes
people
no
think we're out of
sense.
touch.
Yeah, no, I mean they're shocked that we don't want their abundance stuff. That's how they're rephrasing neoliberalism now. It's just abundance. No, it's fucking insane.
Man, if we had a direction to go and a plan to physically build something and just some more guardrails, dare I say regulation, that I think everybody would be down with. Man, I think we could do really, really well, and they just won't do that. They just won't.
If you look at the countries that are like the new, like developing, like, you know, maybe they're superpowers at some point in this country's history, like the Indias and Chinas of the world, and the like countries in the Middle East that have a lot of money, they are constantly building things.
Yep.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I think one of the biggest reasons for Europe's decline is that they stopped building shit,
Yeah.
among other policies and other things, but they stopped building things. And I think we're doing the same thing, and Europe kind of has a valid reason because not all of those countries are small and tiny, and you know they're running out of space and all of that, and they care more about preserving land and preserving like history. But we have so much empty land in this country, and not the land that they're selling, in like parts of Washington, Oregon, Alaska, not that land that we're protecting, but like just empty land that's parking lots. How many parking lots do we have in this country?
Not
That
enough.
could be.
Not
Shut up,
enough,
Oliver.
Noah. Not enough.
Shut up. Get
We
better
need
public
more.
transport. You don't need parking.
We have better public transport than fucking Metuchen.
That's not true.
Yes, the fuck it is.
I can
We have
walk from one.
we have the biggest bus network in fucking Texas.
Okay, you're also the biggest city in Texas.
Yeah,
okay?
I know. Better public transport than you, bucko. You
But
have
here's the
NJ
thing.
Transit.
I can-
Oh, wow, train system. In your state that fits into Houston.
We have a train system.
It fits into
doesn't.
Houston. Yeah, it all
I would
fits into
like to
Houston.
point out, it takes 5 hours to drive from one end of New Jersey to the other.
5 hours. It takes 5 hours to get from one end of Houston to the other.
Well, yeah, that's because there's traffic, because too many people drive, because your public transport actually sucks.
It's
dickhead.
better than yours, bucko.
No, it's
we got
not.
better. Yes, it is. The city
No,
of
it's
Houston,
not.
dude. Best public. Got some of the best bus systems in the country, by the way.
Okay, the bus isn't really public transport. I don't think it
What the
counts.
fuck does that mean?
Nope.
What?
It still
What?
takes some traffic.
Do you
It
not
has to
count?
fit in
Wait.
traffic.
Are you a train purist? Or are you like, oh, if it's not trains, it's not public transportation?
Yes, trains and
That's
trolleys are the
bullshit. That's
only public
bullshit.
transportation
Bullshit.
that counts.
You are baiting me, and it's bad bait, Noah.
I'm
I
not.
am not
Also,
taking
you're
the bait.
already mad. You got
I'm
mad.
already mad.
so
This is
quickly.
shenanigans.
I would say this. That I'll take whatever public transportation I can get. I think we need to tell the issues with the American public, and I think we have an incumbency problem. The people who have resources right now aren't willing to share that. The issue is like there is a bureaucracy issue. There are the policies and procedures that we keep leaning on to keep people out of our neighborhoods, right? That is a huge issue. It's weaponized code enforcement. And I think that in order to, like, we just need to build things. We need to build things with mixed commercial, residential spaces. And, like, honestly, we need to get comfortable with telling people, and this sounds awful. This will sound like government overreach. But, hey, man, like, I'm sorry if this is in San Francisco. They're trying to build affordable apartment complexes. It casts a shadow on like a school's play area, so they're trying to like sue not to implement it, and it's just like, hey, tough shit.
Amen.
Tough shit. Like,
Sorry, Steph Curry.
sorry, man. Sorry. Like, you don't get to see the sun, but like, people need to live. Okay, people need to live. I'm sorry the kids don't get ideal recess. People need a safe place to live.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. bringing it back. Oh, what's up? What are you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I was gonna say I do need to head out soon.
Yeah. Bringing it back to our main topic today. Any final thoughts on the Iran situation? I think, as we all said, um, I don't think this is going to escalate much further than it is right now. I think a lot of it is just for political play from all three sides involved. I think a lot of this is about politics and perception. I think Oliver hit the nail on the head. Donald Trump is trying to distract you from all the shitty things that he's about to do. And you know what? Let's blame FIFA too. They're trying to distract you from how shitty the Club World Cup has
You know
been.
what? Exactly. Fuck FIFA. I like a lot of the games. Listen, I'm excited, dude. I watched Inter Milan versus Monterrey. Great game. First off, you know what?
Dude, I am firmly in the camp of ELE. Everybody love everybody. Jackie Moon.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous that that DT tore up the Iranian nuclear deal, and now he just wants to re-implement it and put his name on it for a
Yep.
Nobel Peace Prize. Um, this is just ridiculous. Everybody's posturing. I do believe the extent I don't think we're going to get American boots on the ground. If we do, um, the protests from this past weekend are going to look like child's play. Let's get real here. If they call American troops and they're like, you are going to invade Iran, everybody's going to go fucking nuts, as they
Oh,
should,
as they should.
as they should. And like because of that, I do trust our public with that. We have been like Iraq and Afghanistan, 20 years, something like $8 trillion, thousands of American soldiers, millions of people in Iraq and or Afghanistan impacted by that. We're not doing that mistake again.
No.
That's
No.
way too close. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't think it's going to be a big conflict.
No,
Me
me
neither.
neither. All right, we will see you guys for a regularly scheduled episode as well this week. Peace.